Good morning and welcome to Trends in the Papers on Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. Today is the very last day in the month of September. That's the 30th of September 2024. And we will be going into a fresh month tomorrow, a fresh quarter tomorrow, and also the very last 3 months in the year 2024. And just as we mentioned last week, if there's still a lot that you still need to wrap things up on, as you move on or transition into the month of October, it's time for you to start putting yourself together as we prepare for a new quarter. But in the meantime, I hope that you're taking care of yourself. I hope you're looking out for your neighbor. I hope you're doing whatever it is you can to relieve your neighbor. Just take some burden off of your neighbor. And also, as you give, of course, as you open up your arms, as you open up your hands, it will come back right back to you. This is Trends in the Papers, the part where we look through the major stories trending on the front pages of our papers, giving some in-depth analysis to the major stories as we look through them. My name is Omobola Sandra. I will not be doing this alone. I have Fuad Sahid who will join in via the phone line to give the analysis to the stories that we're going to be looking through our papers this morning. Promise it to be an interesting one. We'll be running this up until 8:30. And by 8:30, we'll take a commercial break. And by 8:40 or thereabout, we're back for Mainland Focus. And that is the part where you get to be a part of the conversation. You share your own thoughts and your own submission, your own analysis as regards 2 or more major stories that we're going to be selecting off of the major trending stories from the papers. We have our papers here, The Punch, The Guardian, Vanguard, in no particular order. But today being Monday, I'll just very quickly, because it is our tradition, to bring you up to speed as regards the major stories that trended over the weekend. So I'll just pick out the major stories. So because we're fast running out of time already, and we just started. That's just an interesting part of this. So what we have, of course, over the weekend, Wike Fubara, it was quite messy. It was just a lot to take in over the weekend. There was just a lot that happened. There's a statement here from the Minister of State Petroleum, Heineken Lokobiri, who said, Wike made my appointment as Petroleum Minister possible. That was a major story over the weekend from the Punch newspaper. So you may want to check that out. We also have here lion kills a 35-year-old worker in Obasanjo Library Zoo in Abeokuta. There's also this very tragic story from female discharged soldier who gave her side of her rape ordeal in the Nigerian army, making other female victims to contact her. And she has been quite some sort of poster girl as regards that particular story. All right, today is October 1st, and there are conversations around a protest that will be held at Eagle Square, and that's coming from the organizers telling the police force. And we also have here Ogun State Governor saying fuel subsidy removal saved Nigeria 5.4 trillion naira. I don't know how you got the figures, but that's an interesting one. We also have here that the varsity students might actually shun the October 1st protest. Well, we'll see how that will pan out tomorrow. Kwara Smart City to gulp 1.72 trillion naira, says Commissioner. And then we also have here Serap telling INEC as regards electoral offences, obey court judgment or face contempt charge. And of course, the Bobrisky gate. That conversation also continues as Bobrisky is suing Very Dark Man VDM for 1 billion naira. Says that the voice recording was AI generated. That's a very, very messy one as well, because another person who was supposedly in that voice recording files, that's Fᴜᴜ Falana, popular rapper, has mentioned that, oh yes, he received a call from Bobrisky. But then we also have Bobrisky saying, oh no, the voice recording was AI generated. So there's also a lot to talk about as regards that particular one. We also have here JAPA levels. UK government announces fee waiver for bereaved foreign nationals. You can get that story from Vanguard newspaper. That was for Saturday. Well, we also have here Cardoso and others challenge IMF and World Bank to be more responsive to the needs of member countries. I don't know how much more responsive we want them to be, but we'll see how that would also turn out. We also have here Ogun PDP crisis deepens as 2 state chairmen emerge. This has been going on way before even the 2023 general elections, where we even had 2 different primaries in the PDP in Ogun State. So that conversation continued over the weekend. All my opponents put together cannot defeat me, and that's coming from the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, and he said quite a lot. We're going to be listening to some of the things that he said, pointing some, saying some certain things as regards the Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, and then of course Fubara, just over the weekend as well, has responded. So we'll listen to that as well. There's just also a lot. Lagos local government autonomy, senators mill more legislative measures to free local governments from states. That conversation continues. And just as I mentioned earlier on, we do not have so much time, so unfortunately I may have to cut it short right there as regards the major stories from over the weekend. Time check right now is 7:50 a.m. and you're on to Mainland 98.3 FM. This is Trends in the Papers. All right, let's see what we have for this morning. We have our papers, as I mentioned earlier on, and we'll be starting with the Punch newspaper. But of course, before then, it's very important. Let's bring on our analyst, our in-house analyst, Saheed Fuhad, to join the conversation as we carry out, as we move this morning. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM, so you can join the program and also drop your comments, even as the show progresses. We'll take them by the time we move on to Mainland Focus. So the handle to look out for is Mainland 98.3 FM on both Facebook and YouTube. So we're live, we're social. So join us, follow us, like, subscribe, whatever. Just ensure that you support us on social media. Would really, really appreciate the support. Good morning, Fuad. How are you doing?
Good morning, Sandra. Good. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I don't know. What's the road like? Because tomorrow's planned, whether the protest is gonna happen or not, or whether it's going to be like some sort of somewhat similar to what we had at the #End Bad Governance protest and all of that. But what can it answer? What's happening out there?
Nothing. I don't think people are really
into it.
Looking forward to any protest. Yeah, I don't think so. There's nothing to show that there's any interest in whatever will happen tomorrow, whether there's going to be a protest or not. I think even the protest, according to the organizers, have now been limited to the Eagle Square. Of course, whether the Abuja authorities, the police would allow for that to happen, we wait to see tomorrow. But in Lagos here, I think it's more of people just going about their normal daily activities, looking for ways to survive the period. But it's raining actually. It's a rainy day here.
Yeah.
It was rainy morning, the rains are here in some parts of Lagos, I assume. Maybe not in all parts of Lagos, but around Ikeja, Jᴏɪᴜ, I think the rains have come quite early for Lagosians this morning. So, but it's all cool, calm, and I think everybody just going about their normal daily activity. Nothing major, really.
All right, then. Well, that's the major headline on the front page of the Punch newspaper. That's why I thought to, look into that. And there's also another story that I would have loved us to look into, but maybe by the time we move on to Global View, because Benjamin Netanyahu is becoming something else on the global
scene. Everywhere.
Everywhere. The guy is just, all out. He's going all out. And at this point,
throwing bombs everywhere.
He's just
hitting everybody and anybody.
It's just, wow, fortunate God. And
I asked Mr. Kotti yesterday, what was the end? What does it really
What is his purpose? So he's asking that Hamas should, release hostages. Hamas, he wants to, totally annihilate Hamas.
Making all the demands are not ready to consent.
But I'm also, a little bit concerned, Hezbollah and Lebanon. Okay, let's understand that. Okay, Hezbollah is a recognized terrorist organization, but Lebanon, look at that, just straight bullets just hitting them from nowhere, and they were on their own. And
they've also been with the Hezbollah guys in Lebanon. This was eventually going to come. In fact, it's not just the Hezbollah guys in Lebanon now that are getting a hit from Benjamin Netanyahu and his war cabinet. Even the Houthis in Yemen.
Yes.
Also,
yes.
It's going to continue to hit everybody. So while the Gaza war was, Hezbollah guys in Lebanon have also been firing rockets into some parts of Israel. And so they've been that back and forth. In fact, they've been one or two ground invasions in some parts of Lebanon. So, but yesterday again, the Houthi guys in Yemen got a hit from Israel. And one thing I think Israel has been doing, especially with Benjamin Netanyahu, that seems to now work in his favor, despite the agitations back home against his strategy with the war, is that he influential figures in these groups. With Hamas, he's killed quite a number of very influential figures within. With the Hezbollah guys in Lebanon, who killed some of them. So it's not just them; he's taking out very influential.
Fuad, I would need you to please probably change location or move a bit because the line keeps breaking. So I'm thinking that's network.
Okay. Is it better now?
I will have to find out because it just keeps breaking, intermittently.
Is it okay now?
It should be. I hope so. But thank you.
Right.
Yes, but of course, conversation will continue by 10 o'clock on Global View, where we're looking at the trending stories on the global scene. But of course, let's go back now to the major headline on the front page of the Punch, which reads: October 1st protest, policeman flashpoints, APC opposition clash, and we have a rider here that says State Police Command deploy teams. Organizers insist on rally as PDP and Labour Party berate APC. So how that became a political thing, I will see. State commands of the Nigeria Police Force have deployed men in flashpoints as organizers of the October 1 protest insist on going ahead with the demonstration on Independence Day as planned. And if the protest holds, it will be the second time in 2 months that angry Nigerians would hit the streets in disapproval of the hardship in the country occasioned by the hike in petrol price and electricity tariff, and also the floating of the naira by the President Bola Tinubu's administration. And according to the organizers, the hashtag Fearless October 1 demonstration is a continuation of the hashtag End Bad Governance protest, which took place from August 1 to 10. They added that the latest demonstration was necessitated by the failure of the federal government to address their demands, which includes hunger in the land, rising costs of food, insecurity, government's wastefulness, electoral reforms, human capital development, among others. So they have explained that the FCT protest will be held at Eagles Square, which is the same venue rather, for the Independence Day parade that we have annually every year, while the Lagos protest has been said will take place at the Ikeja underbridge. Fuad, Omoyele has also spoken, said they are fully prepared for the protest, saying that they would hit the streets at 7 a.m. on the scheduled date, said, and I quote, "We are fully prepared." Okay. We are fully prepared. Our organizers are on the ground and will not be going into hiding. These are revolutionary times. Nigerians will hit the streets en masse starting from 7 a.m. on October 1. That's what he said. And in Lagos, the protest organizers plan to commence their march at Ikeja under bridge at 7 a.m. as well. Well, whatever it is that we should expect, should we expect some sort of the last time we had a conversation around the hashtag End Bad Governance protest, the question was around, was it a success? Did they achieve what they had set out to achieve? Did the government listen to the demands of these people? If at all we had anything, did we get something from the 10 days hashtag End Bad Governance protest before we move on to the Fearless October 1 protest? Forward.
Well, this particular government seems to have zero tolerance to any form of dissenting opinion in the form of a protest. I don't think they are actually accommodating or tolerant of any form of protest. Reason for that, I don't know really, Sandra. Because apart from the fact that protest is supposed to be the rights of the people under a democracy, it's also an opportunity for the government to listen to the views and opinions and yearnings of people who may not be too satisfied with government policy. But I think for this government, maybe some intelligence, from intelligence community, has demonized any form of protest to the point where the government does not even want to accommodate or tolerate it in any form, except it's a protest they know about or they organize themselves to now speak, to what the government has been able to do. But for anything that comes as a dissenting opinion to the government, it's intolerable as far as this government is concerned. But again, we wait to see what happens tomorrow. Omoyele Sowore is in the country. I think he's one of the major people behind this planned protest. The Adeyanju's name has also been mentioned. There's been a back and forth between themselves and the police authorities on how the protest is going to go, the shape and form of the protest. But at the end of the day, the success is not really about the numbers of people that come out or in the street. Look, even if it's just two people that are able to put out their voice as to their dissatisfaction
like
on government
in
policies.
Enugu in August.
it is okay. Successful. Just to ventilate your opinion.
All right, Fuad, we're having that, we're having those breaks again. So I don't know if you can help us. Please sort it out so we can have a smooth and seamless conversation this morning. Thank you very much. All right, this is Milan 98.3 FM. Time check is 8 o'clock. And you are listening to Trends in the Papers. We're looking through the major stories trending on the front pages of our papers. And we're currently on the front page of the Punch newspaper. And the major headline is as regards the October 1st protest. And very, very quickly. Okay, I think I lost something here. All right, and very quickly, let's see what we have here still on that particular story. Checks by, reports have revealed that the Niger State Police Command has deployed personnel and security assets to avert any breakdown of law and order during the Independence Day celebration in the state. Because during the #EndBad Governance protest, Suleja, which is a major town in Niger, 6 people were killed when protesters reportedly attempted to invade a police station. And in Mina, the state capital, gun-wielding security operatives were stationed in some major places, including popular markets, road junctions and all. And aside from that, we also have in Kaduna, the State Police Command has taken proactive measures to prevent potential violence during the planned protest in the state. And a senior police officer who spoke on condition of anonymity because he was not authorized to speak on the matter confirmed the deployment of personnel across the state. He said, and I quote, "The ban on public processions is still in force, but we are taking proactive measures to ensure public safety. For security reasons, of course, the exact number of personnel cannot be reviewed." Kogi State Commissioner as well has advised organizers of the protest to reconsider their plan and give government more time to fix the nation's economy. All right, and that's coming from Kogi State. Nasarawa Command as well said they have deployed men across the 30 local government areas of the state to ensure peace. Borno State has also taken some proactive measures. Katsina, Kwara as well. And then, yes, those are the places where, some proactive measures have been put into consideration. However, state police commands in Plateau, Gombe, Bauchi and Sokoto are yet to, be notified by organizers of a planned protest. So they don't have any notification. So we can't say if there's anything that's been put in place. Ogun State Police Commissioner Abiodun Alamutsu has said the command would, of course, massively deploy personnel in different locations. By Yelsa as well, put Edo State Police Command as well, Cross River, Ebonyi and all. Meanwhile, the national director of the Take It Back movement, Juwon Sonyaolu, has said preparations for the protest were in top gear, noting that they had no plans to go underground as they had done nothing wrong, despite the repressive measures by the Tinubu-led administration, saying that they're going to go ahead and they're going to, do whatever it is that they need to do. But Fuad mentioned something earlier on as regards, the Tinubu-led administration stands as regards any form of dissenting or opposing views, in this particular administration is being quite very interesting one that one would have thought would have been otherwise, especially going by the fact that this current administration is known for airing their views, speaking out, sorosokeing and all of that. One would think that it will be a government where they'll be more receptive of such actions. But then we'll see what exactly we're to expect. Fuad, do we have you back?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, clearly. Thank you.
Okay, well, again, we'll see how it goes. The protest, eventually, I know it would happen, But again, whatever happens, I think the police just have to do their job. Protect the protester and protect the non-protester. that's the job of the police. And I don't expect that the police will get too involved in advising people not to protest. I think what they should do is to begin to put a structure in place to protect whoever will be protesting tomorrow, and also protect those that will not be protesting, and ensure that it doesn't degenerate into any form of violence. That should be the job of the police. But for like the Kogi State Police Command saying that, look, we'll give the government more time. When did the police become the spokesperson of the government? I think so some of these things are strange, really.
Oh dear Lord.
The police command is saying people should not protest. So give more time to the government.
What's the
to
police?
fix the country.
Why is the police become spokesperson of the government?
You know, and the funny thing is that it will even have been nice for the command to even ask other police officers if they are even happy with what is happening in the country. Because they are also in the country. They face the same thing other Nigerians are facing. So instead of the commissioner of police or whoever is head of police in that state talking to protesters, I think he should even be looking more at the welfare of his own people, the police officers in the state, and ask them if they are really happy. You understand what I'm saying? Before he thinks about other people who are not happy.
All right. Well, there's a lot to take away from this. The director of mobilization for the Take It Back movement, Damilare Adenola, stated, "I'm not going anywhere. Protest is not a crime. I will not run. I've not done anything wrong." We also have Publicity Secretary of the Take It Back movement in Rivers State, Andy Akpoti, said the protest was aimed at bringing leaders in the country to accountability. However, or meanwhile, in another corner, the ruling APC has warned the opposition not to throw the country into anarchy by encouraging Nigerian youths to participate in the planned nationwide protest. Major opposition parties in the country have dissociated themselves, saying the masses who have been on the receiving end of hardship are the ones that are coming out to, protest. They don't need their own prompting to hit the streets for this protest. The National Publicity Director of APC, Bala Ibrahim, warned against disrupting governance and a breakdown of law and order. He said, and I quote, "What happened in the past has not benefited anybody. The country was shut down literally while people's property and lives were wasted. The same opposition that encouraged and sponsored them chickened out. They didn't do anything. Now, if the people are allowed to be deceived by the opposition, which are not after the country's progress but their own interest, they will continue to derail and find themselves in a position they can't understand." So, Fuad, is there a reason or is there not a reason, with or without opposition, for people to go out into the streets and call on the attention of the federal of the government? Do we need a prompting from opposition? Hello? Wow. It's going to be a very long morning if we keep having these drop-offs. But then this is Mainland 98.3 FM. You're listening to Trends in the Papers. We're looking through the major stories trending on the front pages of our papers this morning. Time check is 7 minutes past 8, and we're having a conversation as regards the major headline on the front page of The Punch, which is October 1 protest. The National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Abdullahi Ibrahim, has disagreed with the APC, accusing the APC-led government of embarrassing and torturing the Nigerian mass right from the moment they took over governance. He said, and I quote, this government has been an embarrassment right from the time they took over power in 2023. It's a government that has not taken the pain of evaluating the implication of its adverse policies, which has left the people in misery and squalor. It's a government that does not accept dissent or criticism. It's a government that is known for arrogance and high-handedness. Everybody has come to accept that their greatest mistake as citizens was to allow these people to blah, 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 da. So the untold reality, the hardship, the monumental frustration in the land is what is prompting this protest, not PDP or any opposition. Everything they have brought in, Nigerians have disagreed with them, and they have not changed. The Tinubu's government has carried on as if they have conquered the people or the nation. No opposition, by the way, is sponsoring the protest. The Labour Party, on the other hand, has also, shared its own. The National Publicity Secretary has said the opposition cannot be held responsible for people protesting in Nigeria. The masses are feeling the pang of hunger, and a hungry man, they say, is an angry man. For what?
Well, I think there's nothing to add to that. But again, like I've always said, Sandra, politicians might decide not to listen to themselves. Party members might decide not to listen to themselves. They might see everything from the lens of, it's just politics, bad blood. But the reality is that, look, if you look at the people organizing this protest, I don't see anything political in it. You understand what I'm saying? So again, it's left for the government, to accept the reality, read the room, and understand that look, people are actually not happy, and don't begin to narrow everything down to politics. This is not politics. I'm telling you, Sandra. But if the government wants to say it's politics, so be it. If they now want to accept reality and know that this is not about politics, so be it too. But at the end of the day, my own conclusion from what we see and we observe of Nigerians at this time is that they are not happy.
Hello?
I'm with you, Sandra. That's it.
All right. Well, we'll see how everything would, pan out tomorrow. The Lagos State government has maintained that the court's directive restricting protests to 2 designated venues in Lagos still stands. So it is either you are at Freedom Park or you are at Peace Park. Anybody that is protesting in Lagos.
The court directive is still. No, Sandra, there's been a lot really about the position of this particular government to any form of protest, and I really don't want to work myself up. I just want to take it easy this morning. Let's enjoy ourselves, give us information. because if I decide to go into this conversation the way I should, I'm going to work myself up, and it's too early in the week to get worked up.
It's all right. It's all right. So let's just take things.
You understand?
It's okay. It's okay.
Let's just enjoy ourselves this morning.
Is it possible for us to? Well, speaking of enjoying them ourselves, there's still a lot more to discuss this morning that will probably, comedy of errors. I think that's Shakespeare now. I think so. It's just a lot of comedy of errors that we're going to be talking about this morning. But there's still a lot to talk about as regards, the Bobrisky gates. But more information coming in much later on. But still on the front page of the Punch newspaper, federal government raises teams to avert ASU strike. Okay, and that is on page 9 of the Punch newspaper. Yes. We also have here constitution amendment. Regional government tops 56 memoranda to the National Assembly. Regional government, that's on page 8 of that's on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. Very quickly, what we have is that Nigerians are calling for a return to the regional system of government, which is also known as the parliamentary system. Fuad, what do you think? Because this has been, considered, or this is being considered, during the National Assembly's constitutional memoranda submitted by the public as part of ongoing constitutional amendment. Fuad.
Well, I think people have a right to call for any form of government they think would help us get out of this problem of misgovernance. But I think that, look, the structure we have now, yes, needs some adjustments here and there. But I don't think whatever we have now cannot take us to where we want to get to. If we tinker with it, we rework it, and get more people to commit to government. Because at the end of the day, Sandra, if we're going to go by the nature and behavior of our politicians now, even if we create a regional government, and these guys not going to be the ones that are going to work at the regional level, they'll just dissolve themselves into the regional level and cause more problems for the region. So at the end of the day, what we should be asking ourselves is, what is wrong with our politics? What is wrong with governance in Nigeria? I think it's number one, this widespread corruption that comes with the nature and attitude of our politicians. Oh, they see government, getting to government as an opportunity to enrich themselves. So even if you change the structure now and you devolve it into regions, you are still going to have this same set of people devolve into the regions and cause more problem at that level. I think what we should begin to look at with the current structure we have, devolution of power.
Hello? All right. Well, as we try to carry on the conversation, can you hear me?
I think the rains are making it difficult.
We lost you for a long while.
But it's better now, right?
Yes.
Because again, the rains, I don't know. I don't know what's happened to our network.
But
I think that at the end of the day, we should just, because again, this regional conversation, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not even seeing any commitment to it happening at any level. So instead of wasting our time talking about what will not happen, why not talk about what we have and how to make
it? That's right. Okay, then. Well, we have among the 56 memoranda that was received, prominent issues include regional government, of course, unicameral legislature, which has always been a conversation as well, local government autonomy, state police, gender equality bills, and the inclusion of traditional rulers in the constitution. In total, 474 clauses have been submitted for consideration, and that's according to the Senate Committee on Constitutional Amendment. The story is on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. You can carry on the conversation there. Just by the masthead of the Punch, we also have here, I've surpassed detractors' 8-year achievements. That is on page 44 of the Punch newspaper, and that is coming from the governor of Rivers State, Sim Fubara. And what the report is giving us is that he has said that those antagonizing his administration are envious and frustrated, saying he's currently building a psychiatric hospital. I just go to leave at that. He said he's building a psychiatric hospital for the benefit of his detractors. He said his opponents and detractors were pained because he had achieved within 1 year what they did in 8 years. And this is just 24 hours after the former governor and minister of Federal Capital Territory FCT, Nyesom Wike, at a reception in honor in Rivers, mocked Fubara for resorting to joining the Action People's Party, saying he would teach the governor how to play politics. So we have some bites that we're going to quickly, very, very quickly listen to, and then we'll also, juxtapose it against the story that we have, in Vanguard newspaper, still on this, particular conversation. But I just find it, it's a little bit ridiculous. He said he's building a psychiatric hospital for the benefit of his detractors. That's all right. But then let's just quickly, very, very quickly, listen to Wike and what he said to Fubara, or what he said to Fubara's loyalists, trying to mock them of some sort. And then would also listen to the second one, would now be Fubara's response to Wike. So very, very quickly, please stay with us. This is Mainland 98.3 FM. Stay tuned.
When this country 2020, 23, people were hiding their faces. Nobody could come out. And that's how you know human beings. That's how you know those who have character. Those are people who have integrity. They stood firm and said, we will support equity, fairness, and what? Justice. We didn't hide it. Did we hide it? Why does anybody on earth think that anything we want to do will hide? Hide for who? Where is the address of the person? All those who are moving around say they are supporting somebody. It's not correct. Some people don't have shame. I cannot serve your boy. I cannot serve master and serve a boy. At all. Now they are not even waiting. They are even rushing after the servant, the boy. They are not even waiting for the boy to call them. They are now rushing to the boy. People don't have integrity. Don't ever you think that they are fighting me. They are not fighting me. I'm too big. I'm too big. I'm too big. If you don't recognize somebody who is bigger than you, then you know you are sick. And far. All of them put together, they cannot stand it. When people said they will put hand here, I told them, if you come here and put hand, something hand to go enter a poor place. Not so. Now they cry. They cry now. They cry. Now you go find trouble. And God is sleep up so they go wake up. We do on our own. somebody come the boss, you go put hand. That's okay. Since you get hand to put, we too get hand to put. Yeah. Alarm never begin blow now. Alarm never begin blow. Instead of them to concentrate on how they will win an election in their state, that they go meeting for another place to talk about River State. Now who lose now?
It's all right. Well, Wike said quite a lot. It's about that particular insight is about 9 minutes long, and we don't have that luxury of time on trends in the papers. So, but he said a lot, and basically just mocking the supporters of Sim Fubara of Rivers State, mocking Sim Fubara and his directive to the local government chairman to go on the platform of APP, Action People's Party, to contest for the local government election, mocking Fubara himself, mocking the PDP governors that are supporting Fubara. You know, it's just a lot of mockery, basically. But Fubara has replied Wike. So let's just quickly listen to Fubara's response to all of that mockery.
Fubara that is building a general hospital, which I also included a psychiatric hospital, because they will need it very soon in their place. So tell them, what I have done in 1 year is what they did. Like I said, let them make me talk. Let them make me talk. It's only empty container that makes noise. If God has given you opportunity, eat your thing and keep quiet. God will continue to give us the strength to do the best for our people without fear.
You are listening to the Morning Express on Mainland 98.3 FM.
Good morning.
All right, you are still listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. Whatever it is that's going on in River State is just getting messier and messier and messier by the day. Fubara is not backing down. Wike is not backing down. The people are not backing down. Well, we'll see who would emerge as winner come 2027. Fuad, your thoughts?
Well, very unfortunate, Sandra. After over 25 years of sustained democracy, this is the mockery we have. This is the ridiculousness, the shame we have as the kind of democracy we are practicing. For anybody that tries to rationalize this nonsense, it means you're also an enemy of the country. Because this is not supposed to be what the likes of Ganifa, Bekora, some Kuti, you know, a lot of the Nigerians who laid their lives down for us to return to democracy. I'm sure this is not what they wanted to see. A situation where we're going to have someone, you know, get so power drunk to the point where you refer to a sitting governor as a boy. He's my boy. He's a servant. Look, it depends on what we want to achieve with this democracy, Sandra. It all depends on what we want to achieve. If we are so, intended on building strong people, strong individuals, than building a strong nation and strong institutions, then we should continue to rationalize this nonsense. A man that ruled as an emperor for 80 years, nobody could check him. Nobody could do anything when he was the governor. And suddenly supported, so somebody would always support someone. Sandra, are you Latiba now? Somebody would always, but when you support someone to the point where you don't want to make the person a rag, practically, a sitting governor, and then you keep making statements, I'm bigger than all of them. I'm bigger than Chiniko.
Right.
And at the end of the day, Sandra, where does this leave good governance for the people of River State? Where does this leave the good governance for the people of River State? Here's a man that ruled for 8 years. You have the ministerial job to do as FCT minister, where all manner of texts of leadership have given to you. Right. But yet you want to continue to still control River State from Abuja, and then people are still accommodating that kind of thought. So this is what we fought for. So we drove down the military to now bring this nonsense. Is that what we fought the military for? Is that what people like Ganifa and Beko, all the activists that laid down their lives to push back the military into the barracks? So this is what they fought for. This is the democracy they fought for. And somebody will come here and begin to rationalize it as somebody else somebody. So what? So it's not how to build a nation. It's a shame, Sandra. It is complete mockery that after 25 years of this democracy, we are still in this situation.
Right. Thank you very much, Said Fuad. There's still a lot to talk about on that particular report. I seriously doubt that Wiki is over, because it's definitely going to respond to.
What is it, Sandra? Is it not even ridiculous? He's talking about integrity. Integrity. Where is the integrity in it now? The same Wiki that's talking about integrity. All the things he said about the APC, about cancer, about never working for them. Where even said that, look, somebody is coming and says he's going to continue from where Buhari stopped. So it's the same person inside that government. And the only survival he has now, is for political survivors, is dependent on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That's the only political survivor. So where's even the shame? A man that was almost going to become president, somebody has become a fool to destabilize his own party, and he's happy.
Thank you very much, Said Fuad. Well, that's that as regards Fubara Wiki.
Integrity. Where is integrity now?
It's okay. It's really messy. It's really unfortunate, and this just reminds me of the Wike Obaseki situation. Then say who's your father and all of that. I just think Wike he needs some sort of I know
the sad part, Sandra. These were all guys who were never.
I can't hear you anymore, Said Fuad, but it's all right. I think we get the story. The report is on page 44. By the way, I've surpassed the tractor's 8-year achievements. The back and forth between the Rivers State Governor Sim Fubara and his predecessor Nyesom Wike. Just a lot of mess there. Moving on now, we don't have so much time. Still on the front page of the Punch newspaper, 17 governors have raised minimum wage panels, all right, because the federal government has commenced payment of the new minimum wage. So state governors have also set up implementation committees: Ogun, Ekiti, Sokoto, Kebbi, Osun, Enugu, Borno, Zamfara, Kogi, Kwara, Gombe, Kano, Taraba, Delta, Rivers, Jigawa, and Abia State have all set up and raised committees to implement the 70,000 naira new minimum wage for workers across the country. And that is on page 2. You can get more details there. Cameroon Dam, NEMA crew monitors Niger and Benue rivers, and that's on page 8. And that's as regards, mitigating some sort of, disaster. Naira for crude deal begins on Tuesday, much anticipated. That is on page 3 of the Punch newspaper. Unfortunately, we can't dig deep into the report for this morning, but what we have here is that the Technical Subcommittee on Domestic Sales of Crude Oil in Local Currency have confirmed that the supply of crude in Naira by the NNPCL is to begin tomorrow, October 1st, 2024, and that is according to the directive that was given by the president earlier this year. So that is all that we can take from the front page of the Punch newspaper. With less than 2 minutes to go, this is still trends in the papers on mainland 98.3 FM, and the major headline on the front page of The Guardian: only 7 of 20 subsidiaries viable as NNPCL battles 22 trillion naira debt. Now, I'm not mocking or anything, but it is just very, very funny. Believe me, it is very funny, because just a few weeks ago, about a month or so ago, NNPCL declared profits in year-end 2023, saying, we made so much money because, we're not paying subsidy and all of that. And this is just after they had declared that they are owing about 6.8 or thereabout, in subsidy payments. And even after that, there was even a conversation when there was scarcity that, we can't afford to import anymore. We can't afford to buy fuel from our international suppliers anymore. So money issue in NNPCL has been a huge quagmire, in this country. But then this report is giving us this morning is that that NNPCL is facing serious financial sustainability and liquidity management crisis as unviable and unprofitable subsidiaries have pushed its indebtedness to 22 trillion naira. There's quite a lot to unpack from this particular one here, and for a company that is not even, handling its refineries, I don't know, but its refineries are not even active, and we have so much, indebtedness. These subsidiaries, there are a lot of them. They include the Port Harcourt Refining Company, NNPC E&P, Kaduna Refining Company, the Gas Infrastructure Company, Energy Services, Warri Refining Company, and so much more. The Nigerian Pipelines and Storage Company Limited, all of these subsidiaries, a lot of them and so much more, are, as at December 31st, 2023, are struggling at this time now. So, performance of these subsidiaries, noting that if these investments do not begin to yield returns anytime soon, NNPC's leverage ratio could worsen, thereby making it more vulnerable to market risk, particularly fluctuations in oil and gas prices. And this is just as we are on the verge of some sort of respite with the on-stream of Dangote refinery, and with NNPCL being the sole off-taker. What is our fate? Very quickly, we have just a minute.
We have, again, we have to do something about the NNPC, because similar companies in other oil-producing nations bring glory, wealth, and prosperity to their people. But what we have with the NNPCL is pain and sorrow, lies, corruption. So we have to agree that there's a problem somewhere. Because they are not the only oil-producing, we're not the only oil-producing nation with a company like this. There are other countries who have companies like the NNPCL and are doing well. Those companies bring prosperity to their people. You have so many subsidiaries, and look at the huge debt hanging around the neck of this subsidiary standard. But again, have you ever seen any company where the subsidiary is performing at the parent company? Whatever happens with the parent company dovetails automatically, rubs off on the subsidiary. So if the NNPCL, the main NNPCL cell is in debt, what do you expect the subsidiaries to do? And look at the ridiculous subsidiaries you even have. They are into logistics, they are into health, they are into all manner of things. NNPC. So they are called duty gone, they are not even focused on that. They just have all manner of subsidiaries. They have put their hands into businesses that they are not even supposed to be doing. And at the end of the day, if you go and check with all of this debt that you have around the subsidiaries, it is still a corruption. And tomorrow, Sandra, this naira for crude sale, if you look at what the committee is recommending, you know that, look, we are far from solving the problem. At the end of the day, the committee is saying that, look, it is only diesel that Dangote can sell to any off-taker that is interested. But for PMS, it will have to sell only to the NNPC. Why? Why is that so? Even now, for naira for crude, NNPC cannot still sell PMS to any interested marketer. They have to pay the NNPC that will now sell to other marketers. But for diesel, they can sell to any marketer that is interested. Why? What is the big thing? What is so unique? What is so important about PMS that Dangote cannot sell to other marketers? It has to be the NNPCL alone. Why? And until today, Dangote has still not told us how much he's selling PMS to the NNPCL. And has now become the only sole off-taker. Sandra, we are far from solving the problem in the oil sector. Unfortunately, your Minister of State for Petroleum, he was in Port Harcourt, and the only thing he could say is that Wike helped him to get the job. No wonder he's not performing. He's not even qualified in the first place. So because he knew Wike, he got the job. No wonder he's been a dismal failure from that Minister, Lokobiri. They are saying now that the only reason he got the job is because of Wike. So there was even no competence in the first place. It was because he knows Wike, he got the job. A very sensitive job like that.
It's all right. Well, there's still a lot to unpack as regards the NNPCL conversation. It's quite a lot. Port Harcourt Refinery is owing over 1.9 million. I don't understand how an inactive. I don't understand.
Listen now. Look at the basic of each of the subsidiaries.
I don't know how
Port Harcourt Refinery owing
an inactive corporation would be owing trillions of naira.
Trillions, actually.
We are not jerrying anything from Port Harcourt Refinery, and we are owing 1.9 trillion. Kaduna Refinery is owing 1.3 trillion. Warri Refinery is owing 1.1 trillion naira, and these are non-redundant refineries.
NNPC Logistics Company is also owing trillions.
So the figures are there.
Owing.
It's okay, Fuad. The figures are there. You can check it all out on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Unfortunately, we have totally run out of time and eaten deep into our commercials. So please stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes after these commercials as we move on to Milan Focus, where you, our dear listener, get to be part of the conversation. In the meantime, apologies, we're not able to stream on Facebook for this morning. However, we have been live on YouTube, and when we come back, we will still be live on YouTube. So stay with us.